You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
How are ye?
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering the anime that aired the week of the 10th of August to the 16th of August, 2024, starting with The Elusive Samurai, Episode 6, Steal the Imperial Command from Ogasawara's Residence at Night. Which...
Not a lot of poetry to that Tanaka.
No.
I could have gone to a little bit more metaphorical.
Tighten it up a little. Yeah.
Sorry, I lost my thesaurus.
Is this the best episode so far?
Fucking hell, man! The transitions in this so fucking good. Oh,
there was so much fun stuff going on with fucking Cheeky Fusa. Just like how they're fun going about just how he hears things to the extent that he's got such good hearing. He's got a little mouth that grows in his ear and tells him they're over there.
I was thinking that was well timed with the prior week's Chainsaw Man as to why are people afraid of ears? It's like this cunt is why people are afraid of ears.
It's like a Vampire Hunter D if the hand mouth came out of your ear instead. It's that kind of weird grossness.
But what is an ear if not a mouth that eats sound?
And the narrator makes the point later on is Kazuma Genba is who we get the focus of here. And it's the fact that he is the traditional realistic shinobi who's doing realistic shinobi skills, but animated in a way that is more fantastical than the post 1950s pulp ninjas superpowers.
I think it's the idea that he's doing feasible, possible fucking shit. But to these guys who ninja, as the narrator says, it's like eventually ninjas are going to shinobi's going to be a thing. Ninja's going to be like a standard warfare thing, and they're going to be hot shit. But right now they're like, what the fuck? He's producing fire. It's just like, yeah, we saw him throw a little grenade. Like it's there's no magic to the fucking. There's artistry to it, but you can see how he's doing it, and the fact that the flames are purple, it's like he probably has I don't know, fucking magnesium in him or something like
that. It's probably horse shit as we'll find out later.
Probably is knowing this fucking cunt. Yeah.
Well, samurais are a superstitious and cowardly lot, so they fall prey to such tricks.
So it's kind of Takayuki saves Genba's life early on in the episode when they're fleeing.
And it's the contrast of our big ears mouse man has just the visuals of how he's hearing them in the woods and how he's sneaking up on them and that kind of shit. And our ninja is kind of you know what? I'm not gonna sell him out. I'm just gonna fucking run because he can fucking he can hang for all I fucking care. It's it doesn't really bother me. No skin off my back. But it's the idea that's you shouldn't be sneaking out now because I know hide and seek better than anyone else. And so he puts himself in the line, gets slashed. And it's why did you go stand up for me? Because I was about to do a runner on you, and it's I'm not going to do a runner on you. I liked hanging out with you. I like sneaking around with you. I want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Even though you've explicitly told me you were going to run and leave me in the fucking lurch, I am going to help you out.
The nice way it does that is it gives you lines that were omitted from scenes you saw earlier. That scene actually ran on a few seconds longer, and then back there here's how he responded to your questions or your statements before.
Yeah, there's a lot of serendipity with themes across the shows we watched this. I noticed. But we later by the end we get this sort of flashback back to his master again of say, if you do find a master you can trust, still ask for the money.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. That you trust him and you want to support him. Get paid though. Do get paid. That is important.
Don't forget money.
And even the contrast of that between like you said, Niall, adding end to the bits of conversation we'd had before, including his master's last words before he passes on the ninja mask, that kind of thing. But when they're making their escape, he's viewing their break-in into the compound initially. It's just that's where we got in there. That's where the thing, and he's running through the things, and the characters are viewing their thievery through different perspectives, and it's so well put together, man. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, and the way the mask changes is
yes.
as needs be for the expression to come through.
Yeah. What's also well put together is Sadamune and Chikufusa like tag team cuddle on the horse there.
I love the gag that each of them thinks the other one's their subordinate. It's like, why is he talking to me so casually? He's my subordinate. Why is he talking to me so casually? I'm his senior. So they're both,
he likes you. Shh, don't
close.
tell anyone.
They're close, but they don't understand why the other one's talking to each other so casually.
Oh, I didn't see you there. So.
Yeah, it's like, I know your eyes don't work at night, but let me guide you. Like, sensually caresses him so he can aim his fucking bow. And it's just like, because he's very good, but again, he's not as good at the bow as our guy, but he's got them ears, he's got them mouse ears, so you're going to use them.
Let my ears whisper into your ears.
When the ear and the eye are talking to each other in like, hello, it's me, my eye. And I was like, that's good fucking scene.
Let's get him! Yeah!
And then but then they get away because then they get confused as to whether did they steal it or have they already did they set fire to it back at our camp.
Also, that does mean our fucking compound is on fire, and that's bad as well.
Yeah. Also, my bow's been cut, so I can't actually do anything about it now.
It's got titty L on this one, boys.
And the thing was just like, that's fine. We'll get the order again in a month. You've only delayed our
Get you next time, Yorashige.
But in the meantime, the Imperial Courts has been inundated with frauds claiming similar feats. And they would also like land, please.
The way like their lies were getting progressively mad was like, I had to fight off moon monsters to defeat that lord, and that kind of like, it's just, but all of them have the same like shiny eyes because they're like the eyes of a liar or something, like they're acting pure innocent kind of thing. And eventually kind of the shogun's kind of like, fucking just leave shit as it is. I don't fucking touch it right now. Like, okay. And your man's like, what the fuck?
I'm getting a hand cramp here.
What was it he said? It was like, this is bullshit, or like, I'm sick of this.
Fuck this noise.
Yeah, something like that.
Clocking off. I'm the Emperor. I shouldn't have to be doing this.
Yeah.
Then yes, our heroes are all celebrating. Genba is a child drinking loads of alcohol. Meanwhile, they're discussing Takeuji, and you got to learn about your enemy. You can't just send in Genba to assassinate him. It's not going to work. And then we see why it's not going to work, because the prince, the son of the emperor, doesn't trust Takeuji. He thinks he's plotting against his dad.
Correctly.
Well, possibly. We don't know for sure yet.
He's a snaky looking cunt. I think he's on the right.
History says yes, he does, and yes, he is.
That's the other thing, of course. Yeah.
Well, yes, he will. I'm not sure he's plotting at this point. It's only when he gets greedy later on in history, and then the plotting really starts. We see Takeuji in action, where he basically kills every one of the prince's men casually as he's walking towards him, because he just wants to have a word.
The way
he's apologizing.
Like he's just like, excuse me, your majesty, and like he'll like sometimes not even fucking, you don't even see him casually like move his fucking arm with the sword and just heads flying off. It's like, what? I'm not even paying attention to these guys I'm killing right by. They don't even fucking matter. It's like, if I could just have a word, I could talk you down from this situation. Yeah. It's terrifying. It's so good.
Yes. And then we establish how terrifying it is, and then they're interrupted back with our heroes as it's reported. Can you please do something about Genba? He's taken his trousers off. He's chasing the shrine priestesses around, and everybody's getting ready to draw their swords to kill him.
He's gotten his dick out. He's touching ladies' bums, and everyone's willing to kill him. And we do want to keep this ninja because we literally just got him. So
this is a crack team to kill Takeuji. Yep.
Everybody's character designs break into gagbanger character designs because they had this very important story they were telling about Takeuji, and it's been completely derailed and turned into a lowbrow story by one of our allies. And I think is that where we leave it at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is just like, that's who you're up against, and this is who you got to go up against him with. He's from the rafters doing fucking penis helicopter. It's one of his ninja skills, apparently. Hope he never encountered a situation where that's required. That's what kind of solve a jam. I can't imagine it would be very good.
So like the besides how great this fucking episode looks, like the fact that it kind of runs the gamut of is like, wow, you're someone I should actually genuinely trust, and we putting ourselves in a really cool visually life or death situation. You put your life on the line for me, and it's like our enemy is actually very dangerous. And whoa, I'm a drunk child. Like it's running like a full range of emotions and moods, and doing it with like so much grace. It's fantastic.
Yep. And I think we're into another year next episode. Also, This is like flying through the comic. I think it's like generally like 3 chapters an episode.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts. I think we're up to chapter 15 at the end of this one. Which is good.
Let it ride.
Next on the list is One Piece episode 1115. Talking of drunk people, it's the Navy surprise, the Navy headquarters former Admiral Kuzan. As we go back to the flashback of exactly how did Kuzan join the Blackbeard Pirates?
It's funny that it goes from the escalation. It's like, you've frozen my men. Oh, we're going to come to blows. Again, let's get fucking.
This guy's all right. hey, do Aki Inu again. It's like, I'm Aki Inu. I'm the head of the Navy. I'm a real hothead. That's totally him. Oh man, you really got him down.
Check it out. He fucked up my leg, and he like breaks his own ice leg off the table. It's like, that's fucked, isn't it? And he's just like fusing it back on. They're like,
want some ice in their drink.
What is it they say to insult him, and it immediately goes hostile again?
Well, the feet goes, hey boss, we could totally use him. He's a really asset on the team. And said, I know what you're up to over there, Whisperer. You plan to fucking steal my devil food power. You can have it all those other dudes. Take it for yourself. Well, that's not how it's going to go down. It's not how it's going to go down. I think, no, don't do it. It's cool. I thought I was going to ask you actually to join the crew. Like legit. Like, what do you reckon?
And his thing was like, Blackbeard, like a pirate is concerned with my unemployment. That's how fucking low I've fucking sank. That kind of. I thought that was a pretty good like line and delivery, that kind of shit. Because Blackbeard's just like, you don't got a job, huh? I want it. I got space on the ship. It's a really big ship. But that and the whole thing, it was like, come on, man, I'm not gonna fucking work with you. I can't be your friend. It's like, who said any of these cunts are my friends? Like, we just have a common goal, basically, is the thing. That's how pirate crews work, from Blackbeard's point of view. Yeah.
Yes. Or at least that's what he says, because there's always a sense with him that sometimes what he says isn't what he really means. Because he's a man who spends a lot of time planning and yet goes around talking about destiny and fate.
Well, fail to plan or plan to fail. That's the one motto, isn't it?
And then the rest of the episode is Garp versus Kuzan, and then the end of Blackbeard versus the Heart Pirates.
Yeah, the Garp and Kuzan thing is just like, well, surely Garp's going to be taken out by being frozen instantly, and it's like, no, he will punch and grin so hard he will crack the ice he is encased in. As far as I can tell.
Yes. Just use that Haki to break out of any attack. And the Blackbeard Pirates get their asses kicked by Beppo because he takes the special pill that Chopper gave him.
It's nice to see them kind of on the because when did we fucking last check in on the fucking Heart Pirates fight
months
stuff?
ago.
Like so long ago.
It was before the start of fucking Egghead. So they got through all that before they got them.
Because it's kind of like, okay, so he managed to chop Stronger the horse in half, but like we got a teleporting sniper, and it's like he seems like he's fucked. But then it's like one big bear is all it takes to completely ruin their coordination as a team.
Yeah.
Even if a big bear for a very temporary amount of time. But the important thing, more so than Beppo is on drugs, is Beppo can swim, which none of these other cunts can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has that advantage over them to run the fuck away. And we end with the hard parts are defeated, and Blackbeard victorious again. Didn't get the fruit this time, but he is looking for it. You know.
I think he's made his point.
I don't think it's clear. Does he get the polyglyphs off them or not?
He's asking about them, but I don't think he gets them because he's like, because he's talking Big Mom and friggin' Kaido have one, and we already know like this is before those events because time shenanigans basically.
He doesn't know what the other two is.
Yes.
We don't know what the other one is, but he knows that there's one on the back of a giant elephant.
Yeah.
But he hasn't gotten there.
Yeah, and Law has two. He's got the one off Zoo and does he have three? I can't remember if he's got three or not.
I don't remember if they shared the Big Mom one. Yeah.
No, they don't think they shared the Big Mom one. He's got the 101 and I was trying to remember the 101 and the Zoo one. I don't know if they shared the Big Mom one with him or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And then they give Kid the 101 for sure. Which I guess he doesn't have because Shanks has it.
Yeah.
Possibly Shanks knows other things that don't actually require him to have those polyglyphs.
He might be keeping those rather than using them. Yeah.
And Buggy's got nothing. And
so we'll check in on him next week.
Yes.
There.
There's lots of the hard cut between them being arguing and then them drinking together. I think is my favorite bit of the episode.
Yeah. Just how much you can like de-escalate and re-escalate like immediately. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, and they're just like friendly insulting each other until they take it a little too far. Then we got Kinniku Man, Perfect Origin Arc, episode 5, in which we check it. Well, we wrap up 2 fights.
Yeah. Thankfully.
Turbo Man versus Takeshita King and Mr. Carmen versus
Crush Man.
Because he has the iron fingers, as they're called.
I'm money ahead. You can't crush me. If I force your body to appear. Oh, now you can crush me. Oops.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
What if I suck all your moisture out of your body? I'm a robot. I'm mostly robot.
I have like cogs and gears for blood. So that's how that works, right?
Yeah, sure.
And Takeshita King's undoing is that Turbo Man has some sort of like Bishop or Sebastian Shaw like power where he becomes more powerful the more you hit him.
He's storing all the things you hit him with, and he can give them to you, but your body can't take it, unlike his cool body. So, yep.
Yeah, and that causes Takeshita King's arm to blow up and him to collapse, and then he like lays him out like a table, and then just gives him a kicking to finish him off, pretty much.
He seems to, because he turned into freaking Warsman as the last thing. And it's like he tried to outdo him because he has those like revolver things on his wrist. It's like, actually, my revolver things are also filled with spikes, much like your Warsman copy.
A Warsman had the original bear claws.
I know, but this
upstart came later.
He's got more spikes now. More spikes. What can you do against that?
Yeah, the defeat of Takeshita King seems to upset the Akuma Chojin who are watching more than the defeat of Mr. Carmen.
Well, he was at the comedy mascot one of the Akuma Chojin. Like, oh, dude, it's just like fucking they killed Chopper up in here.
Apparently, Takeshita King gets one final story in a light novel, which is I think it's the 9th volume, and that volume is entirely dedicated to Chojin who are based on outdated technology.
So, like, here's the thing, right? I know you can bring these guys back to life by revealing your true face to them and shit like that. He's a robot cassette tape. Can we not just rebuild him, or can we not just get the parts to make a cassette tape? Okay, that's fine.
It could be as well. Like, no, they don't have like support or spare parts anymore for like 7 foot tall Walkmans.
That's the plot of the light novel story.
Oh, very nice.
He has
you went
one
to Sony with your
left.
fucking like your thing, and it's just like that is wildly out of date. Like, there's no way that's still like
he's got one blank cassette left, which he can record moves on, and he's trying to save it to copy Kinnikuman is almightiest form, but he has to use it to save somebody else. Yes, that is the dramatic tension of that light novel story, is the fact that he is outdated technology and he's only got one more use of his powers.
Old Master Casking.
Yeah, this was some fun stuff. The short fight with Mr. Carmen and Krishman was we get a fair amount of Black Hole and Dalmatian Man as well. I forgot.
Yeah, no, it ends on that where it's just like, watch out for Black Hole. Here's how his powers work. We're explaining this to you now, and this is bad because they've explained the prior guy's powers work, and then they got their fucking asses handed to them. So next episode, Black Hole's gonna get his ass handed to him. Presumably.
I do like those little, like, the much more lavishly like wildly animated little bits. It's kind of like this is like the one with the Claim and the Titantron as they're coming into the ring. It's like, oh, this is all the best stuff. It's like here's how his powers work.
Real hype stuff. Yeah. But yeah, this episode ends with him putting him in it's like a German suplex or something. They have a specific
Dragon suplex is what it's
Dragon suplex is what they go with. Yeah. But it's kind of like the thing of the Dalmatian Man. I can't think of what his name is.
Just Dalmatian Man. Come on.
Just Dalmatian Man hasn't done anything yet, so it's kind of like, well, what's his deal? Surely he's not just a Dalmatian Man. He's got
sharp nails that might give you a nasty nip if you get too close. Oh, there'll be dirt under those if I get a kind of weird fever or rash.
Yeah, it's quite funny how they have to draw this fight with shadows because of Black Hole's powers. Whereas all of a sudden everybody has long shadows being cast in the sun of
because
the Great
that
Wall of China.
In where's it? Yeah, in China. So and it's later in the day there as these fights are happening across the world. All the lighting is 100% correct to their positions on the planet where they're fighting. I'm sure.
And every so often we cut to Kinnikuman being beaten up by Peekaboo.
I mean, like he's just repeatedly stomping on him, like just doing a little dance on him while Kinnikuman cries in the middle of Japan's biggest fucking
Kinnikuman, keep dancing.
Dear.
Then we got Mayonaka Punch, episode 6, Ichiko's Wish. As we learn why Ichiko is the smallest one is because she was a child who was turned into a vampire by what appears to be an Nosferatu type vampire in her flashback.
Back when there used to be illegal vampire turn-ins into. That's all been sorted out now. Like we're way past that now because I think she says she's 106 or something, isn't it?
Yeah,
something like that. It's like
110 or whatever.
Because we get the fun bit of the vampires at the house aging up, so they've all got the different fashions year on year. Because the plot of this episode is while Ichiko was out, the other vampires destroyed the house by throwing Takagi through the wall because she won a load of money, bought everybody alcohol. They all got
and they hippie parade her, like they birthday bumped her so much they threw her right through the fucking side of the mansion. It went on the local news and they're just like, all right, we're fucking shutting down the mansion.
Yeah, the local news, they have an eyewitness who's Takagi.
Oh man, and how's it got some crazy pictures living in there? I tell you what.
And Mother's Rolling is we're going to demolish the mansion because you've partially destroyed it already, and we're going to send you to a different house where problem vampires are sent.
And they beg, but they get shut down to the point where it's like, please, Mother, don't fucking do it. And she gets her arms chopped off for her for her thing. It's like, okay, we're going with Mam's ruling here, lads. I'm not going to argue no more.
It's okay. We just took him back on again, but still quite shocking.
Yeah. She could kill you. She's being kind by just chopping your arms off.
Yeah, and then we get the story is why is this building so important to Ichiko? It's because she had vampirism forced upon her as a child, so she couldn't stay with her family anymore. And over time, she forced the other vampires by war of attrition to act as her family. She was cooking a meal every night, and eventually they all
sat down
with her. Yes.
It's like it's not so much they don't need to eat, but it's the communal thing of we are together in this, that kind of thing. It's a nice time we can all sit down and chat. Yeah, and shoot the shit and have a nice time together.
Yes.
I did like the her slowly not becoming a vampire. She was already a vampire, but like her hair starting to bleach out because they all have like wild anime hair colors, but it's like, oh, that's a vampirism thing, I guess, in this anime anyway.
And she comes up with an idea. She'd seen a video, because apparently still she hangs out with children in parks.
At sunset, like to be not a creepy vampire because it's like hanging with her own kind, as in children.
Yeah. Well, she's probably doing like a bit of fact finding for the channel.
Yeah.
So it's okay. What do you think about this? Would you subscribe to this? YM, please make your make a choice here on this card.
So she asked them what they were into, and they showed her a video where it was like, yeah, we love teamwork. We love seeing people work together as a team. And then she shows this video to the other girls, and we don't see what it is until they actually do the performance for Mother as a way to, over a Zoom meeting, to convince her to let them stay. And it is
even when they're practicing doing it, they're doing training montages like climbing up cliffs and all kinds of things that
under the
would
waterfall.
Yeah.
Karate.
In order to function as one, they will do these unrelated activities that will help them do this one better. Yeah.
Because the performance is they're going to do bell ringing of Auld Lang Syne.
It's very much so, because I assume the kids were doing it because it was like, hey, we're all practicing this for New Year's,
the Christmas fucking fair or something.
New Year's, for Parents' Day or something like that. Yeah. Or and because they're even wearing like the little white gowns thing.
Yes.
So they're all wearing matching white gowns. They don't look the same, and it's like, and the mother's kind of like, wait, let's hear them out. Let's see how this fucking goes.
This is our dream. Yeah. This is our dream. It's just like nothing like that. And then so Mazuka, I think it's got fun step in on their behalf. He's fun and say, look, they're working real hard on this. No fun. And speaking as Immortal, I think these gals have really got something going for them. It's which will make like 1 million views. Like this. All right then. 6 months, get me 1 million views, so you can stay. Whoa, hold on there. How do I give us like a year? No. You seem confident in this. 6 months.
Yes. There's some funny bits there, because we didn't hear Mother's voice at the start. It was all Yuki relaying Mother's decisions. But there's a bit doing this where Mother keeps on trying to say something, and Yuki keeps on cutting her off because she's arguing with the other.
Well, she's voice only on the Zoom meeting, so it's just like it's really easy to ignore that kind of thing. Yeah. Just the idea is like she's kind of like, what does Mother look like? And Mother could be like a child or anything, like, because they're immortal vampires. Who knows what they have to look like? But she's kind of curious, but she's kind of like not curious enough to get my face chopped off, because the initial thing was as well. She was just like, well, what about our streaming? It's like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. I care about putting these vampires in vampire prison. But yeah, so the Mother has agreed to the terms of 1 million viewers.
Yes, because the other problem for Ichiko is it turns out the other 3 vampires aren't bothered.
They could happily move out. Like, our main girl is kind of like, I'm looking up how to fucking arrange a room for like 2 people, me and my blood bag. Girlfriend. Streaming advisor. That's it. That's the one.
Just like Ichiko is like, no, I'm the only one who's like fighting, putting up any kind of fight to get us to stay here. Like, this place we mean nothing to each other.
Yeah, it was a home for her, but the rest of them are kind of like, I could do without,
Takage's probably like spent like more nights out in the gutter than she has in this house.
That's true.
So now everybody has additional motivation beyond just Leave. This is halfway through the series, so this is the point at which to add this additional plot twist to it. But there's lots of, for a while Ichiko, who again has been presented mostly as a gag character, for her to get some sort of emotional episode, it works, but it's not the same as the Fu one. Doesn't feel like a very special episode. It still feels like the goofiness.
I was kind of worried based on the Fu one and the prior episode where they're all dying on a desert island, where it's just like, are you trying to get me emotionally invested in these horrible people who are just kind of like, they're vampires. They're literally like predators on humanity. And it's supposed to be a comedy. whereas you seem to be like trying to get me emotionally invested in this. And again, this episode I was kind of like, but they stick in enough jokes that it feels fine.
They also remind them of the situation at well, Ichiko, we're kind of in it because of your insider training. So don't think you're off the hook and you're playing the innocent in this. It's like, I don't want to break up my family. Well, you should have thought that before you did that illegal stock trade.
Yes, and maybe when Misaki's making the defense of them, she's still calling them terrible women. So
they're pieces of shit, but there are pieces of shit. Can't you agree on that?
Yep. So that's where we are at the halfway point of the show. Then we've got Chibi Godzilla Rides Again, of which I've watched one of them, and I think you two might have watched the other one because there was 2 this week.
I still haven't watched any of this. So.
You still watched any of this? Okay, genius, hard worker. He is Chibi Rodan. Is episode 19. What happened in that one?
That is they come upon Rodan working very hard. He's got his fitness equipment. He's got his his protein shakes and that kind of stuff. It's like, what, Rodan? Do you work hard at being what you are? And he's like, no, I'm a natural genius. I'm just doing this on the sly for fun. But they're like, no, actually working hard is impressive. It's not just being a natural fucking genius that's impressive, but he keeps insisting that he's natural at that. And he points out, they find in prior episodes, like, wait, that time where you fell and you actually impacted the ground really good in episode whatever, it's just like, that was you've gotten better at falling now. It's just like, and they're impressed with him, but not in the way he wants them to be impressed. That's the joke.
Okay, and in episode 20, it is Scary Stories of Monster Island, where the monsters are telling scary stories. Chibi Godzilla's story is, this story takes place a while back, and something scary happened. That's the extent of the story. And it was so scary, Manila blacked out.
It's the fact that all of them work on Chibi Manila, who is fucking utterly terrified, to the point of being terrified off screen by the antics of these horrifying stories that monsters tell.
Yes, because Chibi Ghidorah is scared of yokai because they've got 3 eyes.
That's weird, man.
Then there's the scary Mary doll story, which Pop Team Epic has also referenced. That's Rodan's.
But he can't remember any of the details. Yeah,
Mothra's is just a story that the 2 twins had been opening up her parcels
and seeing what kind of bullshit she's been up to on the internet, basically. Yeah.
And this is all scaring Manila, though. Yeah, but the last one is ghosts are actually real. Yeah,
that's the scariest story of all.
Yeah, that's it. Some very scary stories from Idiot Monsters. Then more scary monsters in Sengoku Yoku, episode 10, When the Time Comes, in which Senya gets his memories back. The Shogun, we discover, accidentally swung his sword so hard it cut through time, and he learned all his existence.
Wow. That's right. I've accidentally gotten so really good at swordplay, I can cut through time and now can see into the future.
You also see all the way at the beginning of his life. You can see the totality of his mortal existence.
I mean, maybe that's going to explain. Maybe that'll have a different explanation as to why he wants to be a bird, or maybe he's gone mad from the experience. We don't know, but he seems to have it pretty much together. So.
I think I know precisely how many days I have left on this mortal plane. I'm going to just do as much as I can, live life every day to the fullest.
So, which is why he seems so intent on helping out these weirdos who's come across his path, basically. Yeah.
But that's when this day comes, But if you know they're coming, can't you do about? No, this is my fate. So we got just in about. I ask that you take care of all the retainers and the servants and attendants in the house, So we'll have this plan where I have Shikigami illusion copies of people in the house. We'll smuggle the rest of them out through an underground tunnel. So when they come, they'll think.
They'll think everything's above board and that they've done a good job of assassinating me. I don't want them to feel bad, kind of thing. And he's asked this as a favor of the local god, and she's like, "You know what this will cost you?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's grand, no bother. It doesn't bother me."
Seems like he's dead either way.
Yeah. Yeah. So well,
in history, he kills himself when Matsunaga. But also, maybe this is just translation thing. Wikipedia has it on a different day than the one they keep on repeatedly telling us is the day.
Well, it's
maybe he's wrong.
They changed calendars.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming. Yeah, so our little goblin man is pretending to be the semi-historical figure Koji Kashin, who Wikipedia tells me may or may not have existed.
There you go. Perfect.
But whatever he was, it wasn't a yokai of some kind.
How do we know that?
How do you know, Brian? He wasn't real. You can't tell he wasn't a yokai if he wasn't real.
If there's no record of his image of him being a yokai, this explains it all so clearly. What else could it be?
And he got involved to specifically say to the guy, "Don't worry, I got rid of the monster guy. He's fighting a dragon. You're cool to attack the fucking mansion now. Go for it."
Yeah. So ironically, the story he told Senya last episode is what triggers Senya's memories to come back when he asks whether or not God, I forgot his name now. He's
Shinsuke.
our hero. Shinsuke was an enemy.
Is his enemy, and it's that thing where Shinsuke has him dead to rights. I could totally kill him now, but I can't kill a kid. That's
I can't. He's just a kid. He's just a kid. Just a kid.
And so, I mean, that's the perfect thing to remember. It's like, oh, you actually spared me that thing. Yeah, actually, that was you gave me my first thing of humanity. You gave me like a toy because I was just a kid, and you were trying to treat me as such, not condescendingly, but treat you like a human.
You also did other stuff involving stealing up my master and all those other things. Like we were at odds before. Is that all true? He's just like pretending to be asleep. It's just like, and what do you about this in terms of like, amnesia plotline? It's just like, but once he finds out, it's like fun. You did what? I was this. It's just no. We're just gonna talk long into the night about this, and just gonna kind of lay it out. He doesn't have this resentment. It's like, well, I was that person, but I'm also this person now, and these things can commingle. They can be. I had to be one or the other. Like I can't take them on. He's just like considering the big picture of the whole thing. He's just flying off the handle with it.
And Senya's been like consistent as well in him saying, "Is just like, yeah, we fought before, but I never consider you an enemy. Like I didn't try and kill you when I had you dead to rights because like that's not right." And it's just kind of like, yeah, you did. So we're cool then. It's like, yeah, we're cool. Is it cool if I still come with you? Absolutely. We can still travel together. That's fine. It's resolved so nicely. It's, very satisfying.
First, we got to go and rescue my girlfriend.
A girl who is his friend? That's different, Brian. They are shy children. And also the dragon going, holy shit, I'm also a small child. And that other small child is very attractive, I got to admit.
We're going to make her dress up in
as
different
bait.
Clothes. Yes.
To make it more dramatically appropriate, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. It's like she looks even better in these clothes. And she's like, okay, no, you need to give me the old clothes back because I borrowed them. I need to go and give them back. And he's like, no, I owe you. He says, no, I'm going to go walk back when you get your ass kicked with by Senya. He goes back and has a word with the monsters inside him again. Now he's more confident in himself, and he remembers them, and he calls down the guys who've been lurking up top.
He's seeing them as individual
large numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's seeing them as individual monsters rather than generic, like weird sort of flame monsters, which I like. It's just like there are 1,000 fucking guys in you, specific guys, not like generic fucking goons. They all got their own shit going on.
Yes, when the earlier bit when the guy challenged him, I was like, that's such a Kinnikuman Man design.
Yeah, that's got to be on purpose.
It's just like it's a pile of oddly shaped like beings in shadow up on top of a cliff, and like their arms folded down. They're going to come down and wrestle them. But no, he's going to wrestle them with kind words and understanding.
Yes, because the Shogun has also taught him you should have fun, you should smile. That's the thing which makes you human. You shouldn't try and when you struggle, don't make everything a struggle. Just smile through it.
Yeah.
And so everything becomes now play, which is where it starts resembling Elusive Samurai, of like we're turning warfare into play. Because that ultimately is how he's going to defeat the dragon without killing him, is basically saying, I haven't come to fight you, I've come to play with you.
Yeah, because he says it, such a great line of, what is it, like, the highest martial art form I've learned is to smile and enjoy life, and like that's the fucking pinnacle of it. And even the kind of thing of the dragon guy going like, the fuck are you talking about? Because
my spirit power is greater than yours, but well, you know how like all these monks who have some less spirit power like get a one over on yokais all the time with a technique and creativity, which you got none of.
Yeah, you're just like blood forcing it. I'm trying something different that no one else has fucking tried before, and he's convinced the weakest one, the little bell boy,
little bell Chad, is the bravest of them all.
Because everyone's like, don't fuck with the dragon. I don't want to fight the dragon, and the little bell is like, I want to fucking fight though. That sounds pretty cool.
I want to win for once.
Yeah.
Yes. Is it Stuart or Kevin? Whichever one the one-eyed minion is, it's that one.
Yeah.
It's so minion-like, it's hilarious. And then the fact that
might entirely be on purpose, and he, instead of summoning weird monster shapes, it's just the bell boy as a thing, and he like clong. Like,
it looks pretty secure. He's got a little kind of pointy top to him. That's gonna like really like dig in. It's.
But it's a game, Niall. It's play. It doesn't matter how painful that punch looks.
I didn't mean it.
I think that was a great indication of like how the relationship between him and the monsters is changing. Is that it's now, rather than just like it was before, we're going to force 1,000 monsters' powers out of you, and so it's all going to be chaotic and uncontrollable. It's now, I'm forming alliances with the monsters in me, and I get to use
1,000 different powers.
Exactly, yeah.
And it is variances on what we saw in the first season. Like he was told by our sword boy, is just like working with the spirits inside you, way better than dominating them. Like you can do so much fucking more with that. And it's the themes as well that the friendship siblings were trying to, like, we're gonna fucking make everyone friends. We're gonna make sure there's no fighting between monsters and people. And it's like he's nearly there, but he's come upon the same idea in a different direction, basically.
Yeah, well, we've seen with Shinsuke, you've seen this before with Jinka, who just like, no, I'm gonna grow another tail. It gives me lightning powers. I'm gonna grow another tail. It gives me wind powers. He had just like so many things come on him all at once, so he couldn't handle it, and he just went insane and nuked shit.
Meanwhile, with the Shogun, everyone's been successfully spoken out. Okay, you lads, it's time for you to go as well. No, we're not going. Stay here.
And even the thing was like, it's starting to rain. It's like, and they're like, good. Then they won't be able to shoot you with guns because it'll dampen the powder. He's like, woof! I better fucking let him in then.
Oh man, well, that seems unfair. I shouldn't do that.
They came here with their guns to assassinate me. I can't like not.
It would be rude.
So he has the yokai fake retainers, like, open the gates, let them in. They all pour in. They're like, we're here to assassinate you. And he's like, cool. Welcome to the field of swords. Fucking who wants to step up and dance with the fucking Shogun, baby?
My strongest technique is to smile, and he just says this fucking like Gona guy, like maniacal grin. Is just like, come on, I'll take you all on.
Oh, it's very good.
Yes, I love this scene because I once had a D&D character who did something very similar of just putting loads of swords in the ground before a fight. So basically, if I ever got disarmed, there was another sword ready for me to pick up immediately.
I think it could be more serious. Probably going to be like fun breaking a lot of these dudes' spinal columns.
Doesn't need to save them, for sure.
That's even also I want to point out like the setting of the Senya and Mudo fight. Like Mudo has like formed an alliance with an enormous cloud monster, and they're going to fight in his little belly.
And he's like, I'm going to eat him eventually. I'm going to eat all the monsters. And the cloud monster's like, oh, little dragon. You think you're... And it's like, yeah, I'm definitely going to eat him. It's like, okay, little guy, we'll fucking see. I'm only doing this as a favor, so all dragons owe me a favor. Basically. Weird contrast of fights, or it's like, let's be friends. And it's like, I'm going to kill every one of you fuckers. And you're going to kill me. So that's totally fair.
Nah, it's fun getting in fucking gear. Fun. That guy fucking Ashikaga fucking he's a badass. Oh, Shuhei's gotta die.
Yeah, I like the touch of him being concerned that they weren't going to be able to kill him. Because he's got to die tonight.
It's tonight! I can't fucking delay it. Like, I got to make sure they kill me tonight. I got to give them the best possible opportunity. It mean I'm going to knock it down swinging. Like,
if I don't die now, I'm going to have to reprint all those history books. I don't want to put that as like inconvenience on somebody else. You know, I'm not that kind of person.
Yes, again, it's got the seeing into the future thing, similar to what Lucius got.
Yeah.
But yeah, he makes it clear though he doesn't know exactly how he's going to die. He's got the general shape of his life that he's seen. He hasn't got.
I know it stops after this point. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that might be connected to his actual historical death and what the cost is.
It's probably the deal.
Yeah.
The deal he made.
The cost is the date's going to be different on Wikipedia.
Well, no, I mean, I assume he's going to kill himself rather than get killed.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah.
Well, he'll kill 1,000 men who have come to assassinate him and then drop dead of a heart attack because, whoops, I needed to do that to get my retainers to safety. So that's the cost. But
yeah.
Then we've got yes, because this is where this connects to Sengoku Yoku, is My Dear Friend Nokatan, episode 7, Dear Cole, streaming hospitality and such, because they talk about hospitality in Sengoku Yoku as he's opening the doors to his attackers. Hospitality is to walk into a room full of swords. So
they came for a fight, he gives them a fight. Yeah.
Nokatan receives the invitation to the 2024 Deer Collection.
Everyone knows what this is. It's a very well-known event. It's fucking 2024 Deer Collie. Come on,
it's the event of the summer.
Yes,
except for obviously the president, who knows nothing about this, has never heard of this in her life, doesn't recognize the flyer that has been delivered to her. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently the owner of the deer also has to take part in the contest.
Sorry, the what? It's like, I'm not your owner, you're the president of the club, so you're taking care of me. So I mean, like, technically that's fine. And what is it she does to convince her? Because it's butter her up is the standard thing you need to do to convince her.
Well, because this look good. Like, you know, there could be like, you know, prizes, sponsorship, Burberry have like maybe
you winning this would look good on a college application.
We could probably leverage some money out of school to get some like funds for the club, get us like that plush, like, you know, couch, little suite, like, you know, you've always dreamed of and had before someone blew it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm in.
They do a load of training, and then we don't see the actual contest.
Nope, they lost to this deer and an old man.
Well, we know the deer, and the old man's from the zoo, so yeah, we're good. They're the ones to beat, basically.
Just because they're adorable together.
Yeah, because they're also the punchline of the next sketch.
Yep.
Is that they've started streaming together.
Damn you, Tanabe-san. Bested us once again.
Because streaming is Koshitan's teaching Nokatan about streaming, and all throughout the stream, Nokatan's antlers are getting more and more out of control.
And the thing is, she's going like, if I can make a bit of streaming money, we could probably like, because they've like 500 yen left for the rest of the year's budget. They've already spent it all on deer crackers, I presume. So it's like, we make a bit of money streaming, then it'll be fine. And despite how weird the stream goes, everyone loves it. Like, it goes remarkably well. And she's like, why are you guys commenting on this? Why is this positive? I don't understand.
Two of them we recognize as characters, and we eventually hear their voices to confirm that. But there's some very spot on things. It's like there's somebody say, who wants to know some fun facts about antlers?
A very knowledgeable person entered the chat. Yeah.
That's when we just get lost in the rush, man. There's no point doing that. Who's going to see that?
Yeah.
But yes, the antlers take on a life of their own, and Koshitan is like panicking and looking things up. What do we do? What do we do with the antlers? She tries to cut them off, but then they just fall off on their own accord, as they were supposed to do. And then the reveal that Sister and Bashame have been watching it all along, and that Tanabe has also launched his own channel, which is getting more hits. And then the final part, they go to a cafe and meet what the narrator hopes is a normal person for once in the series, and then he quickly reveals that he's not a normal person, much to the chagrin of the narrator.
Way too into coffee for a start.
Yes.
Way too into hospitality and being the perfect little cafe.
Yes, because he keeps on customizing everything he does to how he views the customer, and so he's thrown off when a dear girl walks into his cafe.
Well, walks into his cafe, but immediately catches her Antler on the door, as is her way. It's like, hang on a fucking second, dear Antler. And that's when the narrator is kind of like, oh, fucking thank Christ, is this a normal man? It's like, my sister's been into deer shit lately. This must be like a new thing. And it's like, oh, god damn it, says the narrator. Fucking, I was so close.
It's pretty unsafe, you know. Anyways, I won't pay it no mind. Have you got a deer rest? An antler rest? Is this a what now? You know, like an antler rest. Is this an antler rest?
To rest my antlers, you know.
I'm very sorry. It's like, yeah. It's just a very
What's on the menu? It's like, how about this parfait and stuff? It's like, did she ask for deer crackers, or is it just that
she asked for deer crackers first?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no deer crackers on the menu. All right, I guess I'll have something else then. It's like, what about this very cute thing, very Instagrammable deer-based fucking dessert that I just whipped up?
Pretty good. Let's go for it now.
I have to say, the crunch of the spoon going through the chocolate on the strawberry parfait made me very hungry for a strawberry parfait.
It's sort of like strawberry syrup as well, you know, because it spurted out real gore. Delicious gore.
The man is aging as this episode goes along, as they point out to him when they leave. Because Nokotan does have some advice for him, not to try so hard and relax your shoulders. And he's like, oh, thank you very much. I must go and do something in return. So he rushes out and promises next time she comes back, I'll prepare some deer crackers for you.
Consider the customer referring to, not the customer you wish you had. It's just it's wise.
And our president is kind of going like, what the fuck is happening right now? I thought we just went to a cafe, had a nice dessert, and then left. But there's this whole other fucking meta conversation that I was not fucking party to.
Yes, because the narrator's like saying she caught between two different feelings she didn't understand. Yoshitan decided to ignore them both.
That's sensible. Yeah.
That's very relatable.
That's how you get your life.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah, there was a lot of funny stuff. I think the second and the third segments are the funniest. Particularly, there's lots of stuff in the third where they do like comedic close-ups of Nokotan's eyes for him to react to, and he's reacting to like the way they're drawing it in this episode, and not the way they draw her normally throughout the rest of the episodes. Is like this is his vision of this customer that he needs to please, as opposed to this deranged monster who was in the previous segment.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I was hitting that jog button on occasion. Some of these last few episodes, it's just like,
man, no, these last few ones are the ones which have been on fire for me.
I've been thoroughly enjoying these. Yeah, they've gotten me tickled more than once. So yeah.
Well, I'll admit, I skipped out in the system, which has like, I know it had all those like 20 gags and fucking like.
Oh man, that was a lot.
Niall, those 18 when you said the 18 segments, that's only the first third of the episode.
I understand.
Yeah. And then there was two more normal segments. Normal-ish.
As normal as this show gets, yeah.
Yes, it was the segment in episode 6 when she was shedding her skin and Michelle put the skin on.
That destroyed me completely.
Yeah, took it to new heights for me. My phone is in the wrong place.
It's you doing that. Okay, it is me. I thought it was me. I was going nuts.
Suicide Squad Isekai, episode 10. This is the one I watched first. Now I'm going to have to really drag. Well, apart from the thing we were right, it was the Joker It was the Emperor.
It was a satisfyingly set up thing, and even partway through this episode, the undead king going like, "This is all that fucking Emperor's fault" or something like that. It's like, oh, there you go.
It is not Emperor's fault, and it's like it's like in more ways than one.
Yeah, but the main thing is like kind of like drawing all our characters back together, and my favorite way of doing that is you got the lads dragging Enchantress's unconscious body to the battlefield, hitting every rock in the road on the fucking way.
Like, dude, like, have you heard of the fireman's carry? You know, like, Rick Flag, you're in the military, you should know how to do that. But no, this is like the fucking Weekend at Bernie's or the smasher of every bench.
When it's not only like they're the two of them dragging her by her arms and like her face hitting the rock, like her fucking chin hitting the rock, her chest hitting the rock, her knees hitting the rock.
Going,
yeah, and Harley's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" It's like you're fucking doing. I don't know how you're doing it, but you're doing this to me. Which is just causing the Enchantress to double down on all the fighting, but getting thrown into a giant ball of Clayface and Katamari to the battlefield is the thing that goes like, all right, I just gotta fucking take 5 fucking minutes before I get myself together. I can't even vomit right now because I'm not a real person. I'm an astral projection of myself. But you guys, I'm mad at you, but also you have delivered my body back to me, so it's a bit of a it's tough. We've the common enemy in the Undead Kingdom, yes. So that's great.
Because Katana helps free them, who we learned by the end of the episode. There's never been Katana through most of this series. It's the Joker in disguise.
It's been Katana in the opening when she catches Harley. Yes. That's it.
Anytime after that, anytime in the Isekai world, it was the Joker.
Yeah, that's really good. And just that kind of reveal, I think, is done very well.
It's just one like Flag is like this radio and back, like, you know. Right, so fun. But turned out it was like, no, fun Katana. I was on the other side, help us out. It's fun. What are you talking about? Katana's right here next to me. It's like, the
other bit I quite liked, because I felt it was going to be bad, because they gave what's the pink-haired knight? Is it Cecil?
Cecil. Oh no, Cecil! He don't go out. You're a cool dude.
Cecil just said he's going to retire on the Live Forever. You know, on his yacht. It's just like, oh fuck, Cecil's like dead because he's like, I'm liking these gun things. It's like, Cecil takes the. It's like, oh my god, Cecil's going to die, and like, Deadshot's kind of like, it's like, oh here, take these gauntlets, and it's like, all right, I'll give it a go. Oh, they shoot magic, and he kind of looks at him.
Transformation. Woof, he's got the the long capes and everything popping out.
And when he does that, he kind of like looking at the fucking bleeding out fucking Cecil on the ground, goes like, "Gotta loot that body." You know, he's looking at that, going like, "Oh, it's magical armor. I'm gonna take all of that." But then it did the turnaround of like, "No, Cecil's just fucking like sleeping it off. Don't worry about it. He'll be grand." And I was like, "Thanks, fuck." I did steal all his armor, but I also bandaged him up, so he'll be fine. And I was like glad, because my favorite character in the whole fucking thing, I gotta say. And there's great characters all the way through this, but if they killed Cecil, I'd be very upset.
Well, we all get a bit of Cecil's armor.
Everyone gets a magical girl transformation. Everybody, hey, except for Rick Flag, who just gets to shoot at the Undead King randomly. He did bring a gun, so that's fine. Because I was initially worried, like, Harley's getting the cutie honey thing, all her clothes fly off, the standard fucking thing. But we get full ass cheeks of Peacemaker, so it's like, it's even. Everybody gets a piece. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it makes sense if you see the Peacemaker TV series. Clayface gets to put on a show as his transformation.
Clay honeys are macking on me and putting my clothes on for me.
No, Clay Puppet, I can't right now. I've got to dance my way through this fucking ending. Because they just gave him the boots, didn't they? So all he can do is like dance, magical dance all the time. Dear.
Yep. They save the day, and then the final reveal is it was Joker.
Manipulating the Undead King. He was the Emperor, and possibly also every other enemy they've come across at various different stages.
I think he was just like being a Joker, having a laugh at all of the people who he tricked into getting killed for him.
Yeah. It's implied he could be like take the role at any stage, like, because he's basically done all this to go like, well, Harley, how did you like your Isekai adventure that I set up for you? Was it fun? That's the thing. We're trying to make a fun world, and here's a world we can manipulate to our own devices. Did you have a good time? Dun dun dun.
End of series. Do we get a second one?
Yeah.
It ends the story they were telling, and
yes,
it leaves it open if they want to do another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think it would depend on like did this get out to people? No, did this get out to somebody who like might not necessarily be an anime person, maybe anime curious, but might have seen a Suicide Squad film and think, oh, this could be a laugh. Like, did it break out a little bit, or even within, let's say, folks who would watch an anime thing anyway, did it do well enough of them? Because like, I gotta say, this is like turned out a lot better than expected than it could have been. It could have been like just based on the soup they were putting together here a lot worse, but it was, I think, much more considered than that, way more considered.
Yes, I know on the Discord, one of the Discords I'm on, there's definitely people who did not like it because they're anime fans, they're not Suicide Squad fans, sure. And they were complaining that they didn't understand why the characters were doing anything. I was like, did you not get the satire? It's a satire on American adventurism.
Imperialism, which is what the Suicide Squad is. Like, you know, the idea of using your prisoners as things in the meat grinder to progress your empire.
Yes,
America.
It's just like, why are we going here to do this? Like, you know, why we want to come into this Spanish land? Because we're sure we'll just find out. We'll just see what happens, right? That's all it's about.
Yeah. I think the problem it's got is it's only really available in certain countries at the moment.
That's definitely probably going to fuck it over initially, but like if it can get more attention after, maybe that could help. But
I'd say overall the similar note that it strikes is of Batman Ninja. And if it could, I mean, that was definitely good up to that. That's getting a sequel. So I think this could, this could cater to a lot of things. But now it could be as well as that was a bit of a dividing factor with Batman Ninja as well. Some folks didn't like what it was doing either. So it could be the same people who didn't like this. You're never going to win them over. So,
but the thing of it, like it's so. Not like it's not a genius thing or anything, but it's so well thought out in that it could easily be just we've slapped DC onto an isekai, which is kind of what Batman Ninja is. It's good, but it is just slapping your IP onto an isekai. Whereas this is kind of like you said, the Suicide Squad are invading foreign soil for U.S. military expansion and imperialism and that kind of shit. It just happens to have dragons and magic and shit. And I'm just like, that works fine. You've thought enough about this, because America be like, I love some of that sweet magic. Yeah, we could use that.
And they never really drive out because they're just stealing the resources. It's never made clear that what the resources are, or even if they know what the resources are. It's just the idea.
Because we know they might be there, probably.
Yes.
So we better get them before someone else does. For Russia or China.
Do we want to really instigate the government of the South American country? It's like, well, they probably have some cool shit we'll want eventually. So yeah, fuck it. Let's fucking take it.
Like
now.
Maybe a mind control alien or some oil. Both of those would be good.
Yeah, fantastic. Like that's all it needs to be as a.
And that's just the MacGuffin to get the Suicide Squad characters into a fantasy world, and at which point it is one of the fun things we can do with Suicide Squad characters in a fantasy world.
Yeah. And it's very much like wasn't, we'll say, a targeted, we're going to like really dig as kind of like, no, this isekai fucking trope. It's just more like as a whole thing, just like steamrolling all over the kind of self-importance of somebody's story, and saying, get over yourself. You've got like fantasy fucking this fun castle with spires and crystals and dragons. You're not exactly reinventing the wheel here, pal. Come on.
No, it's not very original, that kind of shit. And one of the things I fucking loved, right, was not only taking the Suicide Squad from the movies Suicide Squad, adding in Clayface and having Clayface be 100% aware of all fucking tropes, just being a dipshit like the rest of them. But his thing pointing out the last time when they find Enchantress's actual body is like, oh fuck, that looks like Enchantress. There's always like a fucking tropey reason for this to fucking happen. It's like, you know, two characters that look the fucking same. And then it's like, oh, but Harley and the princess look the same. Is that ever going to come up? Yeah, so they can like switch places like once. That's it. That's the only purpose for that. There was no MacGuffin reason for it.
Yeah, at least once.
the fact that he brings that up, and you're kind of like looking at Harley, looking at the princess, it's like, what does that have to do with anything? It's like nothing. It's so they can switch places.
I thought it was like, was it really going to stop with her just like putting the makeup on? With the makeup on, she just like her even more. But actually, could use it as like just to sleight of hand to get that last shot in on the boss.
To summon a magic sword out of a shark man and into the neck of a fucking.
You forgot he ate that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I did.
It was kind of cool. Just like this is like, actually, that's Harley. I'm the princess. To me, my sword, and it's just like, yeah, it's a cool moment. And Clayface talked about it last fucking episode. If you weren't paying attention, this is going to come up as a plot fucking thing. And I was like, that's so good. It's genre aware, but it doesn't use that in a clever, fun, pokey way because our characters are too fucking stupid to ever do anything about that.
Yeah, so the fact that they keep on going back to the place they were imprisoned and getting imprisoned again throughout the series.
And the fact that they have to regularly check in at a random fucking lake just to like save their progress, basically. Yeah, it's very silly. But yeah, great crack.
Then finally, it's Dungeon People, episode 6, exploration and cooking. They probably should be cooking and exploration because that's the order in which
we should call it happens. Dungeon Meshi.
It is about food in a dungeon.
Yes.
I think Senshi would be happy, but basically they kind of come to it. It's like, hey, try a herb on your food or something, How about a little bit of salt?
I once put some salt in and it tasted horrible. That's because you put a huge chunk of salt in.
A giant chunk of not grated fucking salt.
And the rock it came from.
Yeah, the whole fucking thing. Because she cooks for them. It's like, oh, wow, you can cook? It's like, yeah. And our dwarf man is like, I only fucking drink water and meat, eat meat. And for a dwarf, that's booze. And I do like that. That's the thing. Is just like, what do you call regular water? A disappointment.
Fermented water. Delicious fermented water.
But it's just like she's cooked food, and it's like, what does it taste? It's like, it's edible. I mean, like, it's like perfect. That's what I was striving for. That's all you fucking need. My father figure once told me never to get above my station. If you fucking cook a thing wrong, you could fucking die.
Yes, cooking's dangerous. Leave it to the professionals.
And they're just like, I feel like we could do like a little bit of cooking, just like a tiny bit, and not get in fucking trouble.
I kind of wished it was more like, because the joke later on with the armor, I was hoping it was going to play out like that because of the old Harry Hill joke, where we talking about his chops, and his dad telling him that, oh, the big round bit of the chop, that's very poisonous. I'll eat that for you. You just have the thin bits. I thought it was going to be like a food thing where he was hogging all the best food and making Harry.
He was eating the tasty stuff. Yeah.
Because we get the similar joke later on is why female adventurers can't find good armor in this dungeon.
Misogyny.
Yes. Because the old administrator was a pervert. But yeah, the first part is
for thieves.
But again, essentially the first part is also focusing on her loneliness, and the second part is also focusing on her loneliness right at the end. It's like the reason food is just functional to her is because she doesn't have anybody to eat it with until.
Yeah, and it's a thing of I'll set up a cooking class with my boss. And the other woman that we know is going to come in and teach us how to cook, and then they made assumptions like her boss, the dude at the head of the Thieves Guild, much better cook than her. He's like a fucking 5-star chef, and they're like, son of a bitch, because they've been using all these delicious ingredients, which tasted good, but we could have got a professional chef to teach us how to cook. That would have been pretty good as well.
And the exploration part is she wants to carry on doing exploration, but
on her day off.
On a day off, but she wants to not use the crystals because it's not as exciting if I can't die when doing it. And they're like, no, you can't do that. But if you die while you're using your replica, then I'm going to ban you from doing exploration ever again. It's like, that's as good as dying. Okay, we've got a deal.
Because that means she can still work there, and be your friend. So it all works out pretty good.
And then she goes on exploration again, and she's learning to use the magic abilities she's been developing in the past couple of episodes, and it's wearing her out more than it did before. And also, she's realizing she doesn't know as much about monsters, particularly in the 9th level where she's exploring. as she thought she did. It's like some things she thinks are a spirit aren't a spirit. Some things she thinks are a normal monster are spirits. It's throwing her off. And then when she goes back, we get like a mapping over how it is here and how it was then. And she's realizing, oh, now when I go back, there's somebody waiting for me. And before, when I was exploring the dungeon before, when I went back home after finishing the exploration, there was nobody there. And that's like, it's something clicks over in her head at that point. It's like,
and it's the opposite of her going on adventuring for the first time, where she's kind of like, oh, that's down that corridor. Oh, that sounds like the whatchamacallit brothers. Nope, no, I got to keep my work head out of it. I'm adventuring now. It's separate fucking thing. But that it's playing D&D with other people is more fucking fun. Like having someone to come home to makes it better. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the idea. I think probably also it's the having somebody to come home to is going to reduce the death wish thrill she was getting from exploring previously.
Because you could just straight up ask this one, hey, did my dad go to the 10th level and have you murdered him? But you're not asking that because you're kind of like, this feels good. Honestly, I'm liking this. I'm having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Possibly don't want to know the answer to that question. And then also in this, we get the stuff with the discussion of the female armor, and the dwarf makes her a new suit of armor. And it's like, oh yeah, I this idea that we should make we should look at the women who come into the dungeon, and I'll design armor that will fit them perfectly. And the previous dungeon administrator says, no, I want to show as much flesh as possible.
I want chainmail bikinis. That's the fucking shit. Because that's what the dwarf is like. I noticed you're wearing like the basic off the shelf fucking like tunic kind of thing. And it's because women armor fucking sucks. That's sourced from the dungeon, right? It's like, don't worry, I'll make you a thing. It'll actually have decent coverage and like give you enough space as well. I'm not gonna armor you up out the wazoo because you're like the fast, speedy one. She's like, yeah, that's pretty good, and like ninja fucking jumps around the place. It's like, no, feels good, man.
Yeah, it's still sort of the light-hearted, gentle Dungeons and Dragons comedy. But yeah, it's nice for this episode to compare it to Delicious in Dungeon.
Yeah.
Two different approaches to D&D eating. Yeah, this is much more along with the D&D where you just have rations in your backpack, unless you're a weirdo who decides he wants to eat a monster. As I have played, that was a character who wanted to eat the monster's brains specifically to learn their powers.
Cool.
Because he was an idiot.
I know there's like several, because of the fucking anime more so, but there was before, but there's several like D&D modules or just like modifying it so you can cook the monsters now. Fucking shit coming out because there's gonna be.
Yeah,
you gotta get in on that.
Monster Hunter is also an influence.
Yeah.
And other video games in general. It's the same. Dragon's Dogma 2 has those video scenes of you just cooking meat. Real meat, because they realized it was cheaper to go out and order exactly the same price, wasn't it? Rather than us rendering this meat, let's spend the same amount of money on real meat and we'll video it.
Like they don't have to do the Monster Hunter thing of showing like anthropomorphic cats cooking your meat or anything. So we can just cook regular meat. It's fine.
And then we get
the same company, so they just can't help themselves.
Yes. Yeah, they could just borrow the footage from Monster Hunter, I guess. But it'd be weird seeing the cats there. That's it for this week. Anybody watch anything else of note? Fascination.
No, it's on my mind to get at this Dead Demons Destruction.
Yeah,
I was reading that a while back, and it's picked up like well beyond where I finished reading it. So
I did watch about half an hour's worth of Chiikawa episodes. A lot of those are about food, at least early on in the series.
Okay.
Be about the food, man.
It is, because after I featured the one who's a rabbit who looks like a rabbit but isn't a rabbit, because I think all of them look like an animal but they're not actually the animal. In my rabbit panel, I thought I'd watch some more of it, and it's very popular.
I'm also having intrusive thoughts of watching Eureka 7 again, which I never actually finished it. Sitting there in a Crunchyroll queue.
Oh yeah, don't get me started. On things sitting in my Crunchyroll queue. So many things. Probably just as many disappeared from it.
Yeah, some have disappeared and come back to mine in all this time.
Rightio then. We'll leave it at that, and we'll be back next week. Ta-ta for now.
Bye.
See you again.